Can you elaborate more about how unfinished work impacts your predictability when using flow metrics?
It really doesn't, right?
Yeah,
This is to me the same size or the same conversation as same sizing, right? So rather than same size, this whole myth that everything has to be the same size to have flow metrics and come into some kind of predictability of process. This is the same kind of conversation to me that we right size it. And so remember something like a cycle time scatter plot shows like it's going to show things that were way out of range based off of your probabilistic forecaster at like SLE and your probability associated with that. The thing to consider there, though, is what your definition of workflow is and how that weighs into it. So if that item goes back on the product backlog and isn't continued to be worked on, where does the cycle time start on it? And what's the impact of that? That's where it could get tricky. I've always been of the belief that if it goes into your product backlog and then it's reactivated right away in the next sprint, that you continue to count based off of the cycle time that was there. So if it's 17 days and we're still working on it, I keep that clock going. If it drops on the product backlog and you're not immediately working on it in the next sprint, which is an option, then I think that there's a debate, because the further you get away from that work, the chance of you just having to completely redo it exists. Just because we have a boundary in a sprint and Scrum, I would decide as a team how you want to handle that. But I think my suggestion probably holds true that if it goes on the product backlog and immediately into the sprint backlog, I would keep that clock ticking. If it doesn't, I'd be really inclined to reset it, because the further you go away from that work, the greater of a chance you basically just have to completely redo it.